Hi there, you're listening to the Estranged Heart podcast, and I'm your host, Creed Revere. Welcome back to our returning listeners, and if this is your first time here, welcome. For this bonus episode today, I won't invite you to grab a cup of coffee or tea because it's probably not going to be a very long episode because I have something very specific that I want to make you aware of and put out there for your consideration. However, that being said, if you feel so inclined as to grab a cup of coffee or tea, please feel free to do so. And as always, feel free to open the heart and listen with an open heart today. But first, a disclaimer. The normal disclaimer. I'm not a therapist or a counselor. Nothing within this podcast should be taken or considered as therapy. If you are in need of therapeutic support, please seek out a therapist near you. I was contacted last week by a woman who is a licensed psychotherapist, and she is conducting a research study as a doctoral student. And when she reached out to me, she originally asked for permission to post something within the online support group that I have and the Facebook page and Instagram page that I have, that she was seeking volunteers for her research study. And while I am typically and normally, 100% on board with these things, I wanted to talk with her myself, to meet her, if you will, and to learn a little bit more about her and what led her to her research before I just arbitrarily said yes. And so Ricky and I had a conversation weekend before last, and I found her to be just a very warm and compassionate and empathetic soul. And at the conclusion of that conversation, I absolutely said she was more than welcome to have her information listed on my support group, or within my support group and on the Facebook page, and that I would also include it on my podcast for her as well. So she had to first obtain permission to do all of this through her IRB and her Institutional Review Board, and that permission was granted the end of last week. And so Ricky sent me this information to me, and I have posted it in my online support group on Facebook, as well as the Facebook page under the same name as the podcast, The Estranged Heart. And I'd like to read to you what her IRB has given for me to read regarding Ricky. But before I get into that, I just wanted to kind of talk about just a little bit about, I see a trend when it comes to therapists, especially from the estranged parents' perspective, that is really concerning for me. And that trend is in believing that therapists are leading the charge for estrangement, more or less. And that is so deeply concerning for me. As most of you know, as most of my listeners know, I work in my day job. I work with psychotherapists. I have friends that are psychotherapists. And while many of them may not necessarily be thoroughly aware of, involved in, and educated about the topic of estrangement, I can assure you that they are not leading the charge and, encouraging estrangement. that's just, it's just not the case. And I'm such an advocate of therapy for estranged adult children as well as estranged parents. And so I just want to caution you, these are professionals who have training that we don't have as lay people. They understand the workings of mental illness. They understand the workings of familial relationships, and that tends to go really far. They can't, while they are human beings themselves and come with their own baggage, as we all do as human beings. I can assure you they wear their therapist hat often and almost to the detriment of them. I mean, I am forever talking with my therapist friends, and even some that I work with on occasion. I'm like, okay, time to take off the therapist hat and let's just put on the human being hat, right? They're just in that world. They're submerged in it, and I have not seen any therapist that is just gung-ho, yes, absolutely estranged from your parents, and don't ever get in contact with them again and just go on with your life and pretend they never existed. That is just not the case. And when I met and talked with Ricky, this woman that we're talking about today, that is, again, the exact same type of warm heart and soul that I came across again. She's not leading the charge for estrangement. She wants to understand more about estrangement. So I am going to read what her IRB has given for me to read for her, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about it, what I read at the conclusion of this. Ricky is a 47-year-old wife, mother, and grandmother. She has been a helping professional for 25 years and a licensed mental health counselor, nationally certified counselor, practicing in Iowa for 16 years. She is dedicated to not only the service of aging Americans, but also to strengthening families and helping individuals' hearts to heal. At this time, in addition to seeing 30 patients a week in her private practice, she is writing her dissertation on, quote, psychosocial adjustment to retirement in parents who are emotionally estranged from an adult child or children they have raised, end quote. She wants you to know she is as sensitive to the experiences of parents as she is to the estranged children. Her desire is to add to what is already known about the subjects of adjustment to retirement and estrangement. She is interested in the prevention of estrangement when possible, helping to heal broken hearts when it is not possible to prevent it, and the promotion of meaningful lives in retirement in spite of the estrangement. Her PhD will be in counselor education and supervision. She hopes to have great reach as a therapist in continued private practice, an educator for future therapists, and a supervisor of therapists. The only thing standing between her and her PhD is her dissertation. She is knee-deep in writing it, but cannot find participants. She is opening up recruitment for her qualitative project to national, and that's the U.S., United States, senior citizens age 60 and above. She is asking that you consider helping her gather information for her study. Again, she wants to learn about the experience of adjustment to retirement for people who, regardless of the reasons, are out of relationship with their adult children. You might want to participate because it gives you an opportunity to tell your story, and others might also benefit from your participation in the study. If you participate, you will engage in a virtual interview with Ricky, the researcher. The interviews will take place approximately 60 to 90 minutes and will begin in February of 2022. Participants will receive a $50 gift card to Walmart or a $50 gift card to Amazon. To keep you safe, she will not be meeting in person. You will utilize a secure virtual platform, Google Meet, through Ricky's HIPAA-compliant G Suite account. This will take approximately 60 to 90 minutes. Are you eligible? You must be a United States resident. You must be at least 60 years old and fully retired. You must be emotionally estranged from an adult child or out of relationship with. You must have access to an electronic device such as a computer, tablet, or smartphone. You are not eligible if you are a current or past patient of Ricky's. You are unable to have a conversation for 60 to 90 minutes. You are employed part-time or full-time. You are not your own guardian. You have a serious mental health condition. If you would like to participate or have questions, please call or email Ricky. Ricky Busca, MA, LMHC, NCC, doctoral student, Capella University, counselor education and supervision. Her telephone number is area code 563-258-2657, or you may reach her via email at rickybusca@sacredspacecounselingcenter.org. And I'll spell that again. Ricky, R-I-C-K-I, Busca, B as in boy, O-U-S-K-A, at sacredspacecounselingcenter.org. Ricky has IRB approval and her study is deemed to have minimal risk associated with it. Ricky has assured me that she will treat you and your story with great respect and care. Your information will be kept locked in a filing cabinet and secure behind a locked office door. No identifying information will be shared in Ricky's document. You will be kept anonymous. Ricky has asked me to thank you for your listening ears and hopes you will consider participating in her study. I will include the contact information in the show notes for this episode so that you'll have that if you didn't catch it in the recording. And I hope that you will consider, if you meet all of the criteria for this research study, I hope that you will participate. I myself have participated in a research study for a doctoral student as well, although not about estrangement. And it was a deeply satisfying time for me, an experience, and I hope that you will really consider this for yourself. So again, to recap, the requirements that makes you eligible for this research study is you must be a U.S. citizen and U.S. resident. You must be 60 years of age or older and fully retired. If you're working part-time, you do not qualify. And you must be emotionally estranged from an adult child, and you must have access to an electronic device, such as a computer, tablet, or smartphone. So again, I just wanted to reach out, and I hope that we can help Ricky with her research study. And I, as always, encourage you, if you have any questions or concerns about Ricky or this study or the process, anything along those lines, and you don't feel comfortable reaching out to Ricky, feel free to email me. I'm happy to answer any questions for you that I possibly can, or reach out to Ricky and find out the answers to your questions. And again, I can be reached at theestrangedheart@gmail.com. Again, theestrangedheart@gmail.com. And I thank you for this community. And again, I hope that you'll reach out to Ricky and participate in her study if you feel called to do so and you meet all of the requirements. So that's going to wrap up this bonus episode. Thanks for joining me. I know this is kind of out of the norm. Usually everything comes out on Sundays, and this is actually going to come out on Wednesday, on February the 16th. So again, thank you for being who you are and for supporting this podcast. Until next time.